please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
A couple of important decisions is what we have seen come out of the cabinet. One, of course, has been the ethanol price increase up to by 25% for all three categories. And the other, of course, has been the new procurement policy to ensure MSP. Three schemes is what have been laid out by the minister. One, of course, is price support scheme. The other is the price deficit scheme. And the private procurement and stockist scheme is the third one. Agriculture Secretary Shobhana Patnaik now joins us to talk more about the same. Mr. Patnaik, hi, thank you so much for joining us. Big day, clearly, because we've seen that announcement finally go through as the markets are preparing for the Kharif arrivals. My question really, first of all, is about the private procurement and stockist scheme. This is the first time that this is happening. How do you look at the supporting reforms onto this one? What kind of proposals still are being awaited to ensure that this becomes a reality?
See, the government believes in really encouraging the private sector to come in a very big way into the areas of, giving fair prices, fair and remunerative price to the farmers. And we are also aware that in the oilseed sector, there are big players and they have got a lot of space which is available to really, procure, stock them and also do value addition to convert oil seeds into oil and sell it at the right appropriate price to the consumers. So we would like to tap on their expertise as well as their willingness to participate in this venture. So for the first time in the history of our country, we want to launch this new scheme, which is called by the name of the Private Procurement and Stockist Scheme. And when this scheme was announced, we also would like to incentivize the private sector by giving them some support. And they will be procuring at the MSP value. They will be storing it and they're free to sell it at whatever point they want to at a later date. And there will be no restrictions on the sale. They can export. They can do whatever they feel like.
What kind of incentivize, what kind of incentivification are you looking to give to them? Is it going to be on the tax part of it or some reimbursement? How is the government working on that?
No, actually the administrative support cost up to 15% will be, we will bear it in case it is justified with suitable this thing. And secondly, we will also like to, one of the industry has been always speaking about stock control order being applied on them. So to that extent, some regulatory measures which exist that will be relaxed for in case. But this is work in progress. Has that been
worked up, sir? Has all of that worked
Actually,
upon?
the Niti Aayog has worked that out with the private sector and it will be elaborated soon. We are waiting for this arrival and it will be elaborated and it will be offered to the states.
Sure.
And the states have complete freedom in identifying the private sector to carry this out also.
Perfect. Sir, also, as you said, these things are still being worked upon. We are perhaps, if not more, 3 weeks away from the arrivals of the Kharif crop. Are most states on board as of now? What are the difficulties that you are looking at? What are the solutions that the government is working on as in Plan B to ensure that the Kharif procurement on the allowed or the announced MSP does actually go through?
See, if you see the entire bouquet of schemes which have been announced, already a fair degree of consultation was taking place and it had taken place over the last 3 months. And almost all the state governments are on board, especially the procuring states are fully on board on this matter. So therefore, the announcement itself will definitely give the signal that we are very certain that the states are fully in a position to take advantage of the new scheme. See, the PSS was already existing scheme, which we have modified a little bit. But the Bhavantar scheme, which is the price deficiency payment scheme, some states are already aware about it. Let's say Madhya Pradesh had already implemented on a pilot scale last year. They are fully aware of it. Haryana also has implemented in respect of certain commodities. And many of the states, when the discussion took place, had already expressed that they're in a position to register the farmers. And when they go to the mandi and really the sale is effected, there is a robust mechanism which registers the price and everything. And so we are hopeful that they will take advantage of this new scheme. I do admit that the private stockist scheme is a very new concept. But industry has been in dialogue with the Niti Aayog, and I am certain few players will emerge and they will be in a position to intervene. So we are hopeful that this will be rolled out in the coming Kharif. I mean, in the Kharif season, when the produce really starts, arrival starts coming into the market.
So my other thing really is that we have an MSP for perhaps 23 commodities as of now. The historical data clearly shows that it has been mostly about grains, wheat and rice, cotton to an extent. Pulses, of course, has been included. Oilseeds, you are very bullish on. What happens to the rest of the commodities and the states which are not really the procuring states, rather?
See, the question is, so far as grains are concerned, it is already a policy exists, and we are hopeful that jawar, bajra, and ragi, and some of the crops which is really very important for certain states, they will take advantage of the present scheme. See, all these years, there was no scheme which really addressed the problems. So once we have come out with the scheme, we will definitely see many of the states rising to the occasion. I do admit that as on date, only few states are very proactive in the procurement front. But with the launch of this policy, almost all the states are going to get a level playing field in terms of adopting these schemes. You would appreciate that the present umbrella scheme gives a bouquet of choices to the state.
It sure does.
So the states have a choice, and therefore they will definitely rise to the occasion.
So what is the kind of an expenditure that we're looking at to ensure that the MSP that has been announced, the procurement and the farmers' remuneration actually does go through? What is a ballpark number that we're looking at here?
See, the government has already assured a credit line of close to 29,000 crores in the almost last year, and this is going to be further enhanced by another 17,000 crores. To be precise, 16,550 crores. So that will be coming close to 47,000 crores. So that is the credit line which is available to the various procuring agencies so far as this is concerned. Secondly, I must tell there will be some losses which is likely to arise when procurement of this scale takes place.
Sure.
So it has been provided some close to 6,250 crores of budgetary provision has been made for the current year, and next year we have made a provision for 8,800 crores. So these are the type of provision which we have made. But this is only tentative. In case it is required to be more, the government has always committed itself to extend all forms of support that is required to make it successful.
Sir, also, while of course it's commendable with the kind of layout that you have come out with, the three options, that is the price support system, the price deficit scheme, and the private procurement, etc. But in a regular market, in the mandi, when the traders are buying it, and etc., how strongly are you going to ensure that it is implemented when it comes to the mandi place, really?
See, the commitment to procurement is there, and we have already demonstrated it last year. So this will be further seen in the light of the present scheme. We'll find more aggressive way of dealing with the subject in the field. But you may ask me that how are you going to ensure safeguards while doing this scheme? Now the scheme, because it's not possible to explain you in a short time, but the scheme has been elaborated, and it will be communicated to the states very soon in the coming 3-4 days. So we have provided inbuilt safeguards mechanism to ensure that the scheme is properly implemented with adequate checks and balances. So we are hopeful that, and the coming Rabi conference has been slated on 18th and 19th of this month, where all the state governments are coming. So we'll be discussing in detail, and we'll be sharing their concerns as well as our objectives in the launch of this scheme. So they will be fully familiarize themselves and will be in a state of readiness to immediately take follow-up action once they go back.